We're battered! We are impacted! We're battered! We're ready to get up! We want to win! Light the fire of power and make us free! We never break down! We want to win! We are impacted! The best team!
Hello and welcome back to TNI-UK Impacted, episode 152, coming to you live via the Total Non-Stop Impact Network on YouTube and Twitch. And if you listen on the go, then we're also available on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, and wherever you listen to your favourite shows, we are there. I'm your host, Bison, and today I am joined by, of course, the man coming to us from the void, the Joker, and the man that we haven't seen for a little while, but he is simply known as Steve. Hey boys, how we doing?
We're good, thank you. We've already got a mourning the loss. Well, we know the results of
we could talk about that stuff a little bit later.
Yeah.
I've got some thoughts on that.
Yeah.
But it's good to see you boys. How are we?
Yeah,
Well, okay.
Cheers. Yeah, yourself?
Like I said, I've had a hell of a week in my work life. It's been absolutely crazy this past couple of weeks, and Joe, I sort of kind of had a good old chat with Joe about it all last week, so he sort of kind of knows where I'm at. But it's been a hell of a week, and I've been doing like 14-hour days and all sorts of stuff like that. So I am ready to talk some Impact Wrestling and
Let some steam.
And let off some steam, get some venting going, do some bison licks, baby. Anyway, I'm ready to talk some wrestling. That's all.
How you doing, Chris? Good to see you.
Quick hello to Chris, who's turned up in there. Chris Maycott. I don't think we've seen him for a while, bud. Gibster's in the house. Mir's already joined us from the start. Good lad. He's already mourning the loss of Yuya. We'll talk about that in a bit.
Yeah.
But it's good to see you guys join us nice and early on. Sometimes you miss some of the stuff that we talked about earlier. We get people coming in. Have you spoken about this yet? Have you spoken about that yet? And sometimes we generally have. But fingers crossed, guys. Nobody misses any of the good stuff. And if you do, to be fair, all you got to do is put your finger on put your mouse or your finger or whatever it is on the little leading thing and pull it back a bit, and you'll get to see all the things that we talk about. Bison, too bad Boomer is too young for gut check.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, that is true. We've actually found a local wrestling school called SOS Wrestling. They're not too far away from me. They're in a little town called Harwich, and I'm thinking about taking her up there to have a little look and see what comes of it. But she's enjoying her karate at the moment, so I don't want to put too much pressure on. My son's boxing. They're all learning. They're all learning combat sports. So just like the dad, I did the boxing and did a bit of wrestling training when I was younger. So it's good to see them sort of kind of getting involved in those things as well. I think it probably helps. I'm a bit crazy about the wrestling, and I'm sort of kind of like, come on guys, let's do this kind of thing. Let's just get in there, lead to something or whatever. Boomer loves the wrestling. She comes to the wrestling shows with me, so it's a good thing. I mean, my boy not so keen on the wrestling, but Boomer, she loves it. She's always asking.
Is she coming to any of the Coventry shows?
No, well, she's not coming to the Impact stuff because I think some of that's a little bit too old for her, if I'm honest. Because Impact is 14, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
in the US, it's TV 14. Here it'll be PG 15, probably 12.
I'm not sure, but I think maybe some of it's a bit too adult for her.
Yeah.
At this time, and that's with my sensible daddy head on.
Yeah.
So I think give it a couple more years. Maybe when she's 12, 13, an Impact to continuing to come back. Then we might introduce to an Impact show. You never know.
Fingers crossed I'll be able to get down there as well.
Exactly. Dead Punk's in the house. Simon Plum's joined us.
Hey, welcome, guys.
And of course, I agree with that. Dead Punk will say the best part of wrestling training is learning how to protect yourself when you fall. Exactly.
Yeah.
In fact, it's one of the first things that you learn. You actually learn basically how to land on
Safety
your
in the
back.
ring.
That's landing on your back's pretty much the first thing we ever did. And I have to say that sorts the men from the boys. Because
she can't take that.
Trust me,
then you're not going to go anywhere.
Taking a bump to the ring, it's quite jolting. It's as much as there's a little bit of padding there and it's got a bit of spring to it. It's still hard.
There's still planks of wood, aren't they?
Yeah. If you don't pull your chin in a little bit, it can hurt a lot. So you have to be you have to be careful when you're learning. So anyway, moving on from all of that business.
Closest I got to wrestling training was backyard wrestling. Did a Team Sim pubs over to my little brother and knocked him out for an hour and a half.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've got some great photographs of me messing around with one of my mates, Steve, back in...
I did a fucking good Team Sim pub driver, I must admit, and a fisherman suplex. That was like the best suplex I could do, was a fisherman suplex.
Nice. It was about...
Not as Mr. Perfect-esque, but it was like as good as you can get it.
Like I said, I got some good photos of doing some backyard stuff on trampolines and stuff back in 2007-ish, and I'm doing power bombs, power slams, fucking everything. But luckily, all of my friends had no idea what they're doing, but it was fun. That was interesting. But anyway, all sorts of stuff. And actually, when I look back at it now, I think, oh, what an idiot! We could have killed each other, but at the time, it was all good fun. But there you go. Anyway, guys, let's get stuck into the news, rumors, and of course the Impact recap of the week. So, Joe Hendry is talking, or Joe Hendry's food fight is with Kevin Knight. I've got no idea it's going to be later on tonight, but at the moment, it's Kevin Knight from this past week. I haven't seen it yet because I've been crazy busy, but I do intend to go and check it out at some point later on. But a big fan of Kevin Knight. Have you seen this show, or what do you think of Kevin? I think he's great.
I think Kevin Knight is fantastic. I did watch it. He talked a lot about what he thinks of Impact Wrestling and how he's settled in and his stuff in New Japan. And they got a big cold pizza from the same place they got the chicken wings for Chris Bay the week before.
Right. Yeah.
So it didn't fare up well in the overall ratings. So which is a bit of a bummer for both of them. but it was good to listen to Kevin Knight just talking about his training and where he's come from and everything. It was a really good introduction to his background, because he came out of nowhere really, and when he appeared on Impact Wrestling, nobody really knew him apart from he was a New Japan star.
Yeah,
you learn a lot about him in like just the 10 minutes that you had, 20 minutes he had with Joe Hendry.
Awesome. Have you seen this one, Steve? Or you not got around to that yet? Because I know you work quite long hours as well now.
Yeah, no, like I say, I'm very interested to see it, because obviously we've been seeing a lot more of Kevin Knight lately, and like I say, the more we see of him, the more he impresses. So it'd be good to go sort of hear more about like his backstory, like what Joe said.
Yeah, he's an incredible wrestler, and he's for his size so agile as well. His drop kick, for me is up there with Moose. I gotta say,
it's up there with Moose and Randy Orton as like some of the crispest drop kicks I've ever seen.
Oh my god, yeah, really, really good. Just going back to the wrestling things, I want to mention this because Dead Punks took the time to type this out. So it's always interesting to see how many show up that first week compared to the next week after they start taking bumps. And that is true, man. And like I said, that's why I said that's where you find out, you see the difference between the men from the boys, because the boys generally don't come back. But also this week, we've got the Josh Alexander retro review, of course, with his buddy George Iceman. And they're looking at Ultimate X from Victory Road 2008. Now, again, I've not had a chance to see it, but I'm letting everybody know that it is available. So go and check it out. I do like these because I love the perspective from Josh, who is like now the head trainer at Can-Am, which is amazing. And of course, George Iceman as well is pretty cool. But I do like it. They're big fan, and this is the thing. This is what people forget as well. Is that regardless of what their position is within the company of Impact Wrestling right now, these guys are big fans of TNA / Impact Wrestling of the past, and wrestling in general. But I mean, obviously, this is what they're looking at. But they are big fans, and I think it's great to see the way that they sort of kind of talk about what they're watching and how they felt when they were watching it back in the day, you know, and all that kind of stuff. I love it. I think it's great to see that sort of stuff. And either of you seen it, or should we move on?
I've not seen it yet.
This actually goes down. Victory Road 2008 goes actually down as one of my most underrated pay-per-views. It's one that never ever gets talked about, but I actually always think it was a fantastic event. So, I
agree. I think it's a good show. I thought it was I mean, this match as well is badass. And the thing is, I haven't watched this because I remember the match. I know the match. It was great.
Yes.
And it was one of those standout, you know, kind of Ultimate X matches of that era.
Yeah. It's part of the World X Cup, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. It was really, really good back then. We've also got Callihan Uncensored. He's been talking to Crash Jackson. Again, Crash. I don't think we've seen Crash on Impact Wrestling. We may have done like as a one-off or whatever, but he's a mainstay player for Pro Wrestling Revolver, Sami's own promotion, and of course he's recently been injured, which means he's been out for a bit. So it's cool to see him kind of coming on, getting some exposure. Regardless whether he's out there performing or not, so that's good to see. And of course, unfortunately, this month or this week, it's become evident that Sami Callihan has been released, and he is now a free agent. Now, you know, as much as this is sad, all right, as much as this is sad because we're all big Sami Callihan fans here, you know. I don't think he's going anywhere, right? I think that this is all down to the fact that Pro Wrestling Revolver is really starting to take off, and he wants to push and you know, concentrate on his own promotion. I don't think this is the last we've seen of Sami. I think you might see him turn up down the line at different events, you know, like special things or whatever. Just suddenly Sami Callihan turns up and, you know, fuck shit up. That sort of thing, or we get some kind of like, you know, major street fight somewhere that when next time they go to Ohio or something, Sami Callihan will turn up, and you know what I mean, that kind of thing. We'll still get special appearances, but it just means he's able to go and do his thing elsewhere. And again, like I say, concentrate on Revolver. They're touring now, you know what I mean? They're touring. They're all over the place. Like every month, there's something going on. They're all over the place. So
I know Jake Christ has already teased about possibly starting OVE, and Sami Callihan's teased about John Moxley coming with him. So I think if he does go to AEW or something like that, AEW will go there to get more talent to get involved in Wrestling Revolver, rather than to make himself look like a big. And it looks like he did in Impact Wrestling. He went there to get exposure and then bring people to Wrestling Revolver, and that's what, you know, when it kicked off after the pandemic, it's become the best alternative to WWE, Impact, Ring of Honor, whatever you're watching. And
Pro Wrestling Revolver, I've said for months and months, the past year, right, that Pro Wrestling Revolver is my second favorite promotion. You know, it's so he may be gone from Impact Wrestling, but I will still be watching it because I'm going to be watching Pro Wrestling Revolver. So regardless of anything, I'm still going to get to see this guy perform, and it makes no difference to me. As you know, I love Jake Chris.
This is an interesting take as well.
Fantastic thing there. Yeah, exactly. You know, there is that possibility that he may not actually sign anywhere else. He may could stay as a free agent and turn up all over the place. Why not? Why not? He could still do AEW, just have to be contracted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just as always the like the dirt sheets making it out to be possibly more than it is. Like, oh, you know, wrestler's contract coming up. You know what he's going to be leaving, and because he's been there for so long, it's like, okay, so what? Like we heard all this about Moose contract expiring. He's going to be leaving. He re-signed. Oh, all those reports were for nothing. You know, let's see it play out. Let's see what actually does happen.
You know, they got Triple H has shown interest in Sami Callihan. Well, Triple H got Sami into NXT last time round, and Vincent McMahon did nothing with him.
Exactly.
And pretty much everyone about Triple H's backing has been fired from WWE with all the recent cuts. You know, Dolph Ziggler, Emma, God knows all the other list of people that have been booted off. You know, they're all people that Triple H is backing and hoping to do more with. And,
yeah, exactly. I'm not. I mean, I don't take any stock in any of the crap where WWE Triple H is interested in blah blah blah. No, he's not. Triple H has no interest in Sami, right? And I'll tell you why. Triple H is a body guy, right? And let's face facts, right? Sami is out of shape, right? So, you know, that doesn't mean he can't perform to the highest level. He can.
I'll just turn this light on.
I can turn it on anytime, Pat. Come on, no problem.
You at the floor quickly while I turn this light on.
He certainly can, but you know, at the end of the day, WWE are looking for the guys that look the part, right? That look like absolute machines. And as much as he's the death machine, he doesn't look like the stacked, jacked, you know. Hence why when he went to WWE, he got himself in amazing shape, right? And you know, if you look at some of the pictures of him during WWE, he was stacked. You know what I mean? He might have been smaller, but he was stacked. Solomon Crowe was stacked, right? And you know, he's not into all of that. He's not interested in going to the gym and getting stacked. You know what I mean?
No.
So
he's interested in putting on a good show and taking punishment.
Exactly. He just wants to do a great show. So maybe he could be like Norbert. I mean, he turns into a backstage producer or a promoter. You know, he might be doing a different role within Impact Wrestling for all we know. Just not necessarily assigned talent. So, you know, just because you know, there's somebody he's not going to be assigned performing talent anymore doesn't mean to say that he's still not part of Impact Wrestling in some way, shape, or form. Let's face it, you know, Revolver have done amazingly out of a friendship with Impact Wrestling. Look at how many, you know, talents from Impact Wrestling do Wrestling Revolver shows. You know, and I'm not talking about the ones that, you know, are part of Sami before they went to Impact Wrestling. I'm talking about all the extra ones that are now performing for Pro Wrestling.
Yeah, you know, Eddie Edwards has gone there, Moose has gone there, Motor City Machine Guns have gone there, Ace Austin and Chris Bay have gone there. You know, Ace Austin was working with Sami before, but Chris Bay wasn't, and Ace Austin got Chris Bay to go over.
Exactly, and all I'm going to say is this, right? Whatever the dirt sheets put out there, half the time it's all bullshit anyway. So just let's let it play out, see what happens. Greg from Slowpoke got it right. Look at that. A higher likelihood of Cornette working with Callihan than Triple H. Exactly, you know.
Sami would tear him apart. Sami would tear Jim Cornette apart.
Oh, I tell you. Yeah, I'm telling you. Gibster saying he watched an old episode of TNA recently. It was one where Main Event Mafia took over the show. I'd forgotten how good that show was, and Booker T was hilarious on commentary. Yeah, that was a good show. I remember that, Gibster. Yeah, definitely. Interesting. Mears stating that my favorite wrestler, I've forgotten her name now. What was it again? Tennille Crapswood.
Tennille Dashwood.
Oh, I thought it was Crapswood. Sorry, sorry about that.
I thought we were friends.
And her boyfriend are available. That's interesting. She went over there, did fuck all, and then got released. Awesome.
She was pretty pissed off, but nothing happened with her. She went over there too seriously, like make it show that she could actually do something. And Vince McMahon and Triple H did nothing with her, so she's pretty pissed off about it.
But she can't do anything. She was given the opportunity to do something in Impact Wrestling. She did fuck all. So no, she's shit. Anyway, other news: Impact will be bringing back Gut Check for the UK Invasion Tour this October. Plus, and this is awesome, Leon Slater has also been added to the tour all 4 nights, including
Fucking brilliant
Turning Point,
talent,
where he's gonna
guys.
be
You're in for a
defending
treat.
one of his titles. Leon Slater, if you don't know, I suggest you go and educate yourself, because trust me, this guy is the chosen one of pro wrestling. He is awesome.
Yeah.
He's young.
I'm hoping we get Diary on there too.
Yeah.
Get
I'm
boisterous
pretty
behavior
sure-
on there. Get
I
boisterous
can
behavior
imagine
versus the
seeing
Bullet
that.
Club. All the rascal.
I'm pretty
that would
sure.
be fucking brilliant.
I am pretty sure we're going to get Diarese on there as well. So we get boisterous behavior as a tag team.
Yeah.
We get
It has
Diarese
to
doing
be.
some single stuff as well. I mean, you know, the dude coming out doing his rapping and all that. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. I can see that happening more in Coventry, but it's going to be pretty awesome. So if you haven't, if you have no idea who the British wrestler Leon Slater is, do yourself a favor. Get out there, educate yourself, go and check out some of this guy's matches, some of his promo work. He's really good. And I have to say, because Joe said to me before the show, he's going to be on, part of the Gut Check. No, he's fucking not. I think
Ashley Vega might be on Gut Check. Ashley Vega's really, really pleased.
Yeah, so do I.
Scotland.
Yeah, I
think
agree
she'll
with
be there.
Impact needs to sign this man. It's not.
Yeah.
This is not Gut Check material. This dude is ready for TV, right? This dude is ready, and they need to sign him ASAP. Get him, fixed in there. Get him signed up. Get him performing in the X Division. Because I'm telling you, this guy is the real deal. Real deal. See, Norbert's saying it. Impact should sign him, because if they don't, AEW will snap him up. I don't know about that. All they're interested in is WWE releases. But there you go. So in a way, Simon's saying in a way, I'd hate to see Subculture versus Slater Diarese. I'm from Birmingham, but live in South Wales, so I'd be torn over both teams. I agree with that.
I know. I would be torn too. It would be so. It would be such an amazing match.
Yeah, but it's a match you could see in the UK. That's not a match.
Yeah,
you can see that anywhere. You could see that any independent promotion in the UK, and it's probably happened. In all honesty, it's probably already happened, right? They're going to be if they perform as a tag team, it'll be against Guns or or ABC or what. It won't be even Moose and Myers as they're going over. It certainly won't.
Oh,
be.
Moose and Myers versus.
They won't be facing a team that they can face, any weekend in the UK. Definitely not.
Yeah.
So I can't see that happening. That would be
especially if they're with a local team, then they're going to have to be over against a heel team. You feel?
Exactly. I think it would be a missed opportunity if they put 2 UK teams together like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's all looking really, really good. That's interest. James Drake versus Zach Gibson. I think that would be that would be good.
That'd be good.
So we got some interesting stuff to come. I've had a little bird tell me that we've got a couple of more very interesting releases coming up. So keep your eyes peeled, ladies and gents. There's more to come. We've also had the news that IPWF returns to Canada on November the 11th. And Rusty Nail and Tim Burr, they're all going to be part of this one. So, guys, what's the other one? Some at the Butcher. What's Rhino? Some at the Butcher. I can't remember what he is. But
I can't remember. It's just hilarious. It's just so good.
Can you hear that? No? Let me turn it up for you.
Exactly. That's what we're talking about. We're going to get some good shit like that, and I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be... I love IPWF, and I don't go a flying monkey what some people say about this stuff. I think this is fun. I think it gives the Impact talent another opportunity to perform, earn money, and explore their creative side. Because
I'm just wondering what Courtney Rush is going to do. Is she going to come in with something like Rosemary instead of as someone similar to Courtney Rush?
Can you imagine? Yeah, she comes out. She comes in with the complete opposite.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
I think it's going to be interesting. Well, she plays. Doesn't Courtney play? Courtney Rush's great auntie or something.
Yeah,
Something like that. Yeah.
something like that. So
Yeah.
that's wondering if she'll come in with something like Rosemary,
Rosemary
sort of
to kind of
different.
counter it.
something.
Yeah.
Maybe. You never know. But I love it. I think it's great fun. So all good for me. Great to see that we're getting free entry to see the gut check trials on the Sunday. Yeah, that should be quite good. The show on the Sunday looks it's probably going to be good as well. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make that. Actually, Steve, I need to talk to you about that as well. But all looking good for the UK tour. So make sure you get your tickets wherever you can. I'm going to be in Newcastle and I'm going to be on the first night in Coventry. Steve's going to join me in Coventry. So make sure you get your tickets. Come and say hello. It'd be great to see some of you guys that are, that watch our show and leave us comments. It'd be lovely to see you guys. So please do that. I think in Coventry, I might do a meet thing. We might, meet before the show and have a, have a drink or maybe grab some grub before the show. So we'll see, but I'll put something out a little bit closer to the time, and if anyone can make it, it'd be cool. Did you see that Trinity now has a slam buddy?
Yes, I've seen that. I've seen that.
It's available right now. Shopimpact.com. Go and check it out. You want a slam buddy? Trinity Slam Buddy available right now. Shopimpact.com.
I'm wondering how many of the Trinity marks you're pissed off at her leaving WWE will be getting one of them.
Quite a few. But should be cool. I think that's really cool. I think from what I can gather, Trinity is one of the highest selling merch people at the moment. So it doesn't surprise me.
No.
But it's good to see. But anyway, I mentioned about the little birdie who basically said we should be expecting at least another 2 or 3 more talents released this week for the Impact UK tour, including, like I say, some UK talent. This was this morning, and then this afternoon they released Leon. So I'm interested to see who else they're going to release. And I know, like I say, it does include UK talent. So maybe the next couple are UK talents as well. So that could be interesting. That could be interesting. Now, we have learned that Will Ospreay will be facing Mike Bailey at BFG. Now, we were all expecting that because that was set for Multiverse United. Yeah, so it's good to get that. That's going to be a banger. We've got the main event will be Alex Shelley versus Josh Alexander for the Impact World title. He's coming from what he never lost. That's going to be a badass. I think that fight's going to be incredible.
That's going to be great.
Wait for that one. I
can see Chris Sabin getting himself into there too, though. I think Chris Sabin might go for option C and get himself in there as well.
If he holds on to the belt, that is.
I think that's what that'd be the best thing for Chris Sabin now, because he's dominating the X division, but I think to go for that title now one more time, and also I'm pretty sure he's getting pretty pissed off with how Shelley's turned heel and shooting.
Do you know what?
Down
you say this right, but I think that because this we'll talk about it in a bit, but this Thursday we've got Alan Angels versus Chris Sabin for the X Division title. Imagine if Chris Sabin beats Alan Angels and then at the end of the match says, "I evoke option C."
Yeah.
To join
the
main event.
So pumped. Yeah.
Or option C, or we get some kind of repeat of what happened last year and to Josh again. Something happens like that again to him.
Oh yeah,
it would kill him, wouldn't it? Yeah.
This time it's Chris Sabin coming right in the end.
Then you get Moose come out and spear Sabin, saying lightning doesn't strike twice unless I'm doing it.
Yeah, exactly. But hey, Scarly. Look, my little daughter.
Hey,
there's
Bison, how you doing?
She's there. She's got her Wednesday photo up. Oh, she's a Wednesday fan. Oh my God, she is a big Wednesday fan. But there you go, she's there. Chris Maycock, just quickly talking about the some of the releases there. Ziggler I think would be fantastic in Impact Wrestling.
I would love to see Dolph Ziggler in Impact.
Yeah.
He was one of my favourites.
He's one of those names that is just Benjamin as well. Like both of those names they're just looked at as like, you know, what can they do talents, but they're incredibly underrated just because of how they've underutilized they've been.
I agree, 100%. I mean, Shelton Benjamin's a freak at the end of the day. The dude is getting on a bit, but bloody hell, he's still amazing.
He can still go.
Oh, Boomer Bison's asking how you all are.
Oh, we're all good, thank you.
Boomer.
How are you?
Come on, guys, don't leave my daughter hanging. She's in there, she's listening. Yeah, she's talking to everyone. She's asking how you all are. Oh, come on.
That goes to you in the chat as well.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Don't leave her hanging. All right, this is very, very important. Nick is joining his brother Ryan down south. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so we have learned. What else have we got? We've got more speculation this week on CM Skunk, especially with Bully Ray believing Impact and Punk could do good business, and with BFG obviously in Chicago and just a short few weeks away. You know, do we think that was a hint that we could see CM Punk debut?
I do. I think if Bully Ray is putting that forward, then you know he's someone who knows what he's talking about. You know, if Scott Moore was to put it forward too, he's someone who knows what he's talking about. So to have Bully Ray say that, you know, I think
that's a hint. I honestly believe that's a hint.
It's actually given me a lot more confidence that if it does happen, then CM Punk isn't gonna cause a drama. He's going to go there to really make up for everything and show he's a top guy still and everything like that. And you know he's good friends with Scott D'Amore already. A lot of us already know that too. But Bully Ray backing him up as well is just great.
But you see, what is interesting? What is interesting, right? Is the fact that people instantly blame Punk for the issues that happen at Impact Wrestling. At AEW. Now,
it was both ways.
I'm sure it was both ways, but you know, at the end of the day, you know, I
blame Tony Khan.
I do as well.
I blame Tony Khan. Tony Khan making CM Punk out. No, he made him out to be like some fucking.
What he is?
He made him out to be like a godsend. Yeah, he made him out like a godsend of the company.
AEW. Joe, you can't. It doesn't matter how you make him out. The bottom line is he put bums in seats.
Yeah, and
the ratings have dropped. The ratings have dropped since Punk's left. The bums in seats have dropped since Punk has left.
I think the ratings were dropping even when he was there.
They had, but they've dropped dramatically.
Oh,
they've dropped dramatically now, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what we think of him, right? I don't know him personally, right?
Oh,
so
no.
I'm not going to belittle him at all. I don't know what the problems were, but you know, listen to other people that have got no real allegiance to anybody involved. You know, they're sort of kind of in the know a little bit. You can sort of understand where he was coming from and why he was pissed.
Definitely.
At different things that were going on. You know, that's the bottom line of it all. Now, he's dealing with like massive egos at AEW, right? Comes to Impact Wrestling, there is no egos.
No,
they all are there for each other, right? So they would welcome CM Punk with open arms. They would welcome him because they know that he's going to bring more eyes to the product. He's going to put more bums in seats. That means that more bums get to see them.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
That's what people forget. That's what people forget, right? That you can build a promotion as much as you like, but you need someone that will put those bums in those seats to see the other talents. Because unless You do. That's why you need those people. That's why you need those people up there that bring them in, and then you bring stuff up because those people come in to see these people up here, and while they're there, they say these people down here, and then over time, these people down here replace these people up here. That's how it works, right?
Yeah.
So, that's what you need. That is the one thing.
Yeah.
Impact Wrestling lack at the moment. And I'm not.
Shelton Benjamin's another good draw too.
Exactly, but I'm not a massive fan of CM Punk. I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that the man is a draw, right? And there's no two ways about it. The wrestling business, it's a business, is about putting bums in seats, eyes on your product, right? And that is something that man can do. And there's not many others. There's not many other people in the business that can do that these days.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And he can. Certainly ones that are out there now, like that aren't in WWE.
I'll show you this comment. This is brilliant if it comes up. Oh, God, wrong one. From Simon Plum.
To a degree, I agree. It's become a family. It's, it is what it is, but it's because they build it that way and they're building a strong foundation. Impact Wrestling, believe you me, is a business built around a family, right? I've had this conversation.
We're losing you, Bison.
Oh, I thought it was just me.
Oh, sorry.
No.
What I'm saying, I'm looking at Slowpoke's comment there. And he's talking about they need to change venue. They don't need to change venues now. They need to change venues for the. Am I still gone?
No, you're back again.
Out a little.
Am I back?
Yeah.
A little.
But am I back?
You're back.
I'm back. Okay, good. I don't know why.
No, I agree. They wouldn't need to change the venue. In fact, with the venue they've got now, if they can get that filled up with like CM Punk and Trinity, and Josh Alexander, Chris Sabin, and Alex Shelley being the huge drawers in Chicago, that's fine. It does the entire roster a huge favor, and it's not taking anything away from the roster. It's just showing that there is star power in Impact Wrestling. People keep saying that. There's no star power. There's no. I don't know. We had some guy saying that no talent doesn't stick around. Well, I listed a huge names on the roster that have been there for over 3-4 years. Eddie Edwards, Courtney Rush, Jessica. There's so many people on that roster that have been there much longer who are huge draws. Just because they're not mentioned in the dirt sheets all the time doesn't mean they're not huge draws.
Well, it actually does, mate, because you only have to look at the venues and how many people are buying tickets. So, at the end of the day, you have that's not to say they're not putting bums in seats. Okay, the venues are getting bigger and they're doing better and better. But for them to take it to the next level, they need a next level talent.
Exactly.
Right. Trinity has taken them to this point where they are now. That you see the difference. The Trinity come in, all of a sudden more eyes are on Impact Wrestling. All you have to do is go on her social media when she's on a Thursday night, right? When she's tweeting about Impact Wrestling, and look how many more views, likes, shares that she gets compared to, say, Eddie Edwards.
Yeah.
Right? She's getting thousands. Eddie gets a couple of hundred.
Yeah, this is why I think Mickey James is probably looking to sign on for a bit longer too. I think she's one of these people that was, like George Weissman was talking about last week, is rumored to sign on for a bit longer. Plus, I agree. Plus, she did relinquish the title, so that makes sense too.
Yeah, I agree, and I agree with Greg from Greg Slowpoke there as well. I agree with that completely. But Impact are trying to change that. They are trying to change that, but it takes time. They're building a brand, they're building a product, they're building a business to be successful, make money. At the end of the day, what's the point of being in business if you don't make money? right? And this is the
exactly.
argument I had with someone this is the argument I had with someone the other day. You know, that people don't understand that, how far Anthem have come. They're like, someone's saying, Len Asper doesn't give a shit. He bought the Prod TNA and then he got rid of everybody and it was on the roster. He didn't care about TNA, blah, blah, blah. That's not true. What he did was he took a business that owed £3 million, right? And he slimmed it right down to save money, right? That's what he did. He slimmed it down and then he started bringing people in that could take it forward. The one mistake, in my opinion, that he made at the start was bringing Jeff Jarrett back in. Jeff fucked up. They got rid of him. Scott D'Amore has done an amazing job. He's building this business up. They're all building this business up. And now Impact Wrestling has gone out of the red and in the black, right? And they're getting in bigger venues. They've got stopped in their growth because of the pandemic. They were building. They had 3,500 in Chicago for Bank Glory before the pandemic hit, right? They built to that level, and then the pandemic hit, screwed everything up, right? Then, now they're building it back up again. They're building it back up again, like in terms of getting people in there. They're now getting people between 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 people now are starting to go to the show. That last show, Impact 1,000, more and more people were there. That place was rammed. There was still more tiered seating on the sides, but it was rammed. There was a lot of people in that building. A lot of people in that building. I think they're doing an amazing job, and they just got to keep going the way they're going. And if they if they're at that point now, they're up in the production values and all that kind of stuff. If they are ready to take that step for that one big person, why not be CM Punk? He's the only man out there at this moment in time that you could bring in and would make a difference to ratings and draw bums on seats. The only one that's available that could do it. There's no others. I don't care. Dolph Ziggler's not going to do that. Shelton Benjamin's not going to do that. They're all old now for a start. That doesn't mean they're that bad, but they were never massive draws compared to Punk in the first place. But they're great wrestlers. I got a lot of time for them. Fantastic performers, and I'd love to see them in. I would.
Yeah,
I would love it.
Yeah.
But Anthem's done an amazing job. When you think about the fact that they ate that £3 million debt, right? They bought a company with £3 million in debt.
Yeah.
And they built it to where they are now since they took it over. They're not going anywhere. He bought a freaking network to make sure that the show had a place to land every week without any worry, regardless of whether the network, like later on, they're going to get too big for that. The idea is hopefully they're going to get too big, and either the network's going to have to grow or they're going to have to move on. But he's made sure that there is something there for them to put their product out week in, week out without anything to worry about. He's committed. He's committed to making this product the best it can be. And I'm sorry, anyone that thinks otherwise is a complete tool. Anyway, speculation. There's still been speculation that we may see Deonna Purrazzo leave Impact Wrestling at the end of the year. Well, we're going to continue to get that speculation until obviously a contract happens. And we'll see. I'm going to say, I've said this all along, I think she'll do something very similar to Jordan. She'll just
I said it last week. I said it to you last week. If she is going to take any time away, it'll be through to February, March. Like Jordan Grace, take about 5 or 6 months off and just rebuild your character from the ground up. She's been one of the headlining stars all year in Impact Wrestling, alongside oh god, I had the name in my head. It's bloody gone now. Sami Callihan was one. Eddie Edwards has been one. Trey Miguel's been one. They've all been guys who've just been in the spotlight from day one of the year. And even when Josh Alexander and Mickey James got injured, they were always there to main event the show and things like that, and keep everyone going.
Yeah,
so,
I think it's been an amazing ride with Impact Wrestling, and as we always know, people leave and we get more people coming in. So regardless of whether Sammy's going, regardless of anybody else goes, people will be there. So and actually I quite like the fact that I'll be in fact Sammy's been there 4 or 5 years. Been there a
5 years.
while.
It's been about 6.5, nearly 7.
Yeah,
reckon?
he-
So
yeah,
that's
he's
a pretty
there.
long time.
Yeah,
That's a
hopefully
pretty
we were
long time.
tag team champions when he came in.
I mean, it's crazy. I get fed up of all the stupid comments of people.
Yeah.
You know, people move on. You know, they're independent flipping, you know, traders or whatever you want to call it. You know, do you know what I'm saying? Like, they could do what they want. You know, we all know that Impact support their talent in whatever it is they do. Chris Bay just released another song. Impact have been pushing that. Anyway, get some nerves. Anyway, so let's talk about this past week on Impact Wrestling. MK Ultra continues to dominate after defeating the Death Bowls on BTI last week. Again, really good match. Enjoyed that. Some shenanigans as always, but some real good wrestling as well. Killer Kelly was fantastic, as was Masha. I actually thought that in this particular match, Jessica stood out like big. I thought Jessica was brilliant in this match. What are your thoughts?
Fantastic match. Like you said, Jessica really shone out in this match, and Killer Kelly took a hell of a beating again. She seems to be like the biggest punching bag of the whole knockouts division at the moment, but she takes such a beating and then comes back. It's amazing the amount of endurance she has. But Jessica was fantastic in this match as well. You know, really starting to see some. You know, she's become more than just a joke character now. She's really shown that Jessica is a serious wrestler, and it's really good to see.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're doing amazingly well. I'm not sure where the Death Dolls are going to go from here. I mean, they've lost their title. Obviously they were champions. They've lost their title. They've lost so many title sort of kind of matches now. I'm not sure where they're going to go from here, but they're still a cool little sort of tag team.
Yeah.
You know, they need a rebirth again. I think it's time we got Rosemary back, if I'm honest.
You're kind of waiting for that next step in the story, aren't you?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, that's the thing with it. It's they're story-driven characters rather than necessarily. They don't need to carry a belt. You know what I mean? They could be in the title picture.
Yeah, they're so over.
They're
so over. They don't need gold.
Exactly. And I agree with Greg there. By the way, the problem is too many people who watch wrestling don't understand business. 100%.
Exactly.
Mate. Right. We then headed into Impact Wrestling, and after another incredible Ultimate X match to open last week's Impact, Alan Angels walks away after winning the Famous X. This was a great match, right? Like, got to be one of the best Ultimate X matches I've seen for some time.
Fantastic.
I thought the one where Kushida one was pretty badass, but this I thought was better.
I love this match!
From all the talent, there was some amazing stuff. It was. I thought this was a good match. Anything stand out for you, Steve, in this one?
Yeah, like you say, I thought I thought it really kind of leveled up from a few of the ones we'd seen previously, because you keep thinking how are they going to top it, and they always seem to manage to. You know, you felt like when the spray can come out, like, oh god, here we go again. And I like the fact that they alluded to the past Ultimate X's that you know, Ace Austin had been in, and the fact that like Angels had only competed previously a couple of times, but yeah, they really can't. There was a couple of times where you thought that who was it at the end? It was was it Ace and Angels up there?
Ace and Angels,
yeah, and you felt like they were both going to fall down with it together at the end. I felt.
Yeah, they do. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I thought it was just a great match. It was a great match. Now, obviously, Angels has ended up with the X. He went off, did a big old promo challenging Chris Sabin, etc. But we then got Jake something finally getting his hands on Dirty Dango after what I thought was a really solid match. I enjoyed it a lot. Jake hits into the void to get the win. Now, Joe, I know you're a massive Jake something fan. What were your thoughts on?
This was justice served. You know, I was hoping we'd see Bhupinder Gujral do this to Dirty Dango, but he's disappeared. I think he might be injured, so which is why he's been away. But Jake something once again just showing how much of a badass he is in the ring, and this was just such a great performance from him, and of course Bravo didn't go away unscathed as well, so that's always good to see.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I thought this was a good match. I really enjoyed it. I think Dango really is proven to be a good signing. I mean, I love his gimmick. I love the way that he's putting we're putting this stuff together. I think it's good stuff. Can I just say hello to Gary a second and Bonus? I haven't said hello to Bonus and Gary yet, so I just want to quickly say that. It's nice to see you in the chat, guys.
Yeah, as Mia said, an easy payday for Chase Stevens as well.
yeah, definitely doing it. Yeah, I agree. Now we went backstage. And Macklin is giving his promo, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Rhino gores Macklin from hell. I'm like, Jesus Christ! I actually thought Macklin was hurt. Anyway,
hell of a gore.
It was a hell of a gore, and then he's claiming that he obviously, that Macklin had tried to end his career, etc. So I think we're going to get a feud with Macklin and Rhino moving forward.
I'm looking forward to seeing them rekindle something. This is going to be good. This is long-term storytelling coming back to bite Macklin really hard.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. It looks like, and I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but did Rhino look like he'd been in the gym?
Yeah, he looks fantastic.
Good. He looked
I
good.
thought he looked fantastic. I think he spent a bit of time in the gym. I'm going to say it.
I mean, I must admit, because there was a report come out that Rhino was obviously taking up a backstage role. So when obviously he got injured, kind of just assumed, okay, that's Rhino now, just go, moving backstage. But he's come back looking really good.
Yeah, he really did hurt himself. So he had some time to think about, where do I go from here? He's taken up a role as a producer. He's doing a bit like Chris Sabin's in production as well. So he's doing something similar to Chris Sabin.
Yes. I think he really. I think this could be like the last hurrah. I think we're going to get we're going to get a little run from him, and then he's going to sort of kind of like slip backstage, and that we'll see him every now and again. But I thought it was good. We then obviously got the Kenny King versus Eric Young match. Obviously, Young comes out with a coach by his side. I love the way Eric was reacting to the way the coach was performing. I thought that was fantastic. Obviously, Scott D'Amore, guys. I'm going to call him the coach because that was the character he was playing right in this match. Okay, so
Team Canada, guys.
Yeah, we ended up with a bit of a DQ due to some interferences and all that kind of stuff. We then end up getting. I think it was EY, the coach, versus King and Sheldon G made by Deputy Director for the night, obviously. Shark Boy. Yeah, exactly. Then after this started, we then get Diener coming out and Con come out to get involved in another DQ. Of course, Shark Boy singing, hell yeah! He is not putting up with this. So he then introduces some tag partners for EY and the coach. Turns out to be what we've been waiting for, America's Most Wanted, James Storm. Kate comes out with, I've forgotten his other name. What's the other guy?
Chris Harris.
Chris Harris.
Yeah, Chris Harris. And they join Team Canada. Now I don't know how many people are aware of this, but apparently that's the very first time that those guys have ever been on the same side, apparently. So that's really
amazing.
Cool. So we then get... Yeah, they did. They feuded a lot. So we then got EY, the coach, and America's Most Wanted versus the designer, Kenny King and Sheldon Jean. And basically, after a real fun match, and I have to say, the coach is great. He's getting involved in all of this. He was proper in there. But after what I thought was a really fun match, Young hits the power driver on Sheldon Jean to obviously get the win. The faces get the win. Everyone's happy to a roar. I thought this was a real fun match. I mean, it's not, technically, it wasn't amazing, but it was a fun match, and I really, really enjoyed it. And I would watch that match over and over again because I thought it was really well put together. The timing of it was good. Shark Boy coming out, giving it the show, was amazing. I loved it. And this, if I was giving ups and downs of Impact Wrestling, this was an up.
Yeah,
Alright?
I thought
Yeah.
James Storm is looking in fantastic shape still as well. James Storm looks
He
fantastic.
looked awesome. Yeah,
I
I cannot believe they've not tried to get him back in, like, not full time as such, but do you know what I mean, to some kind of long term or even a short term deal.
Yeah,
I think
I'd love to see Storm versus Macklin. That would be amazing.
that'd be a hell of a match. Yeah.
it was. I just thought it was so good.
Yeah.
But there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love. I mean, obviously not a great night for Kenny King, 2 DQs and a loss. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of quite reasonably enjoying sort of Santino, but I would take Shark Boy as Director of Authority any day. He's awesome.
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But definitely. And can I just say quickly, are you going somewhere, Boomer? Or I don't know. You're telling me that you love me and stuff. Are you leaving, or are you just involved? I don't know. Anyway, I'll see you in a minute when I come.
Going to Dade Park. Yeah, considering how we saw them, I think was it last time at Slammiversary. Chris Harris looked in much greater shape.
Yes, he did. He looked good. Looked like he'd obviously been working out. Now there was rumours that there was some wrestlers in talks of signing. I wonder whether it's those two. Whether we're going to get like one final run of America's Most Wanted.
That'd be awesome.
We'll have to see, won't we?
Yeah, it'll be good.
So we then go backstage. We've got the Busted Open Radio's Dave LaGreca. He's hosting the Feast or Fired briefcase reveal. Crazy Steve's briefcase holds a digital media title opportunity, which is a change because that used to be the X Division.
Yeah.
So he's got one of those. So he's got a digital media title opportunity. Moose briefcase holds an Impact World title opportunity. That's interesting. We've then got Chris Bay, who then opens up. They've got a World Tag Team title opportunity. So I think we may see that happen at BFG. We'll have to see. And then, of course, that meant that Yuya Uemura's briefcase hold the pink slip, meaning that he's fired from Impact Wrestling.
Courtney, you have to come at the saddest time. How you doing? We're just talking about Yuya Uemura leaving, and then our resident knockout joins us. Oh god, but it was so heartbreaking to see Yuya Uemura go in.
Oh my god, it was so sad. You see Joe's face and Joe Hendry's face, and it was a sad moment. I thought they made a real meal of it to make it as sad as possible. And I have to say, I thought they did a good job on that. However, I mean, don't think he's gone forever. I think this is a temporary thing. Go on.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, they didn't. I wasn't a fan of how they even set it up because they didn't even let him open the case, did they? It was like, okay, you three open your cases, and obviously you is just left with a shut case. It was really like heartbroken. He knew he was fired before he'd even opened his case.
It was heartbreaking. I thought it was brilliantly set up. They had the music they added. Added all the atmosphere.
Yeah, but that's why it was so heartbreaking.
Yeah. And Chris Bay's reaction when he got the tag title shot too. It's like, oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, so I thought it was great. I thought it was great.
I'm sorry.
But there you go. So we now know that Yuya is blocked.
Yeah, but yeah, like I say, I don't know, like you mentioned a minute ago.
You're
sure he'd be back, but that's kind of why I never put too much into Feast or Fired, because, like you say, the fired doesn't really mean anything, does it? Yeah. You know that they'll be back at some point.
Yeah, I knew Yuya Uemura.
I hope so. I certainly hope.
Yuya Uemura had about a year in Impact Wrestling. I thought it was going to be over around about December. So it ended a bit earlier than I thought it was, but the whole point of him being in America was a 1-year excursion from Japan as part of his New Japan training in the dojo and going through the rankings there. Yeah. So there's a good chance that he'll be back. We nearly had it with Taji Ishimori, but Jay brought him into the Bullet Club when he went back to New Japan Pro Wrestling. So he stayed there. But Yuya, someone I'd love to see come back because imagine
it would be interesting.
Yeah, just imagine the bump, the bump we get if Joe Hendry's still there, and we get Joey one more time. The crowd will blow the roof off.
Okay, so we know that he's going off to Japan for a little while. So they had to get him off the TV somehow. And again,
Yeah.
he can always come back. But what's interesting is that a lot of people think he's going to come back under a mask, so he come back under a different guise, which would be cool. Because let's face it, Yuya Uemura's been fired, but it doesn't mean to say that a new character would have been fired. So you could sign a different character, which is cool. Anyway, moving on. We then got Josh Alexander versus Trey Miguel in a fantastic matchup between two incredible Impact talents. After some shenanigans from Wentz, Alex Shelley comes out to neutralize him, and Josh hits the C4 spike to Trey to get the win. After the match, Shelley and Alexander face off. Alexander informs Shelley that he's coming for what he didn't lose. And of course, that sets up the match for BFG main event. Again, really, really good match. I enjoyed the match. I thought it was really good. I love the interjection of Wentz in there as well. I thought that worked well. I think what they're doing with the Rascals at the moment is awesome.
Did you see
proper
Trey Miguel's
heel faction, which is what I wanted.
Trey Miguel's been talking about
I still
Myron Reed
think
again.
I'm glad because I think we need Myron Reed on Impact Wrestling.
He's saying that Myron Reed it needs to be signed. He's one of the best free agents out there. He's someone who needs to be signed. And I left him a reply saying, "I'm surprised he's not coming to Impact Wrestling yet. I'd love to see him with you and Wentz." And it'd just be amazing to see happen.
Yeah, I'm surprised as well. I'm surprised he's not there yet as well. So, I don't think you're not the only one. You're not the only one. But what I will say is I think this is going to be an amazing matchup with Alex Shelley versus Josh Alexander at BFG. Two incredible talents that are going to absolutely blow the roof off, I think. We then get Jonathan Gresham returning backstage talking to Mike Bailey. And then, through this discussion, we end up with Mike Bailey setting up a match with Jonathan Gresham the following week, talking about not breaking rules and all that kind of stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing that one. We then hit the main event, the greatest knockouts match ever. This has been billed, and I have to say, it was a great spectacle knockout, and boy, did not disappoint at all. I expected the present knockouts to take the majority of the match, which of course they did, but the roar from the live crowd was clear when any of the past knockouts, took to the ring, especially towards the end when Kevin came in and with her and plants her into the implant buster to get the victory for Team Over. Now, this match I thought was absolutely outstanding. I loved it. I thought the story being told in this match was incredible. I thought the work rate from the present knockouts to make the older knockouts look great too was good. And I think for me, in reality, the standout performer in the entire match for me was Gail, Hall of Famer Kim. She was awesome and has not lost a step. She is the GOAT, man. She is the GOAT.
Gail Kim was absolutely amazing.
So good. I love
you wouldn't have thought you wouldn't have thought her last match was 4 or 5 years ago, against Tessa Blanchard. It's incredible to see her back. It's just amazing. And all of the knockouts looked amazing in this match. The veterans look good. The current generation look good.
Regardless of what went.
Sorry? Oh, he's gone.
I'm going to drop out. Come back.
Hello? You there?
I think he's going to drop out. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll give my thoughts on the match. The veterans look good. The current generation look fantastic. That bump Gail Kim took after she fell off the pulled on the apron, that was nasty. Everyone
it was.
She was. Yeah, but she came back from that and did a diving crossbody outside the ring to a huge. That was insane. Just shows how durable Gail Kim is. She wouldn't have, I said earlier, you wouldn't have thought she'd been away from wrestling for 6 years or so after that match with Tessa Blanchard. It was so good to see her come back for this, and the crowd was just so over for everybody. It was just so good to see.
Yeah, yeah. Like I say, you've got the knockouts here and there currently. You know, like Giselle, Tasha, you know, and then Trinity, and you know, it's not taking anything away from any of them. But like I say, that you know, you've got the knockouts like Awesome Kong, the beautiful Angelina Love. You know, they just kept a beat up like any of the current knockouts.
It's so good to
You know,
see.
and Giselle Shaw's reaction when she realised Awesome Kong was behind her was just priceless.
Giselle
there was some
also
great
taking that implant buster. That's showing that Giselle Shaw is going to be a real big standout star next year as well. You know, taking the bump from Awesome Kong. She might have lost the match, but again, it puts the spotlight on Giselle Shaw.
Yeah, and they had to
you know.
Gone.
Sorry, guys. I'm back, by the way. I am back. I apologise. I realised I've been using my computer a lot inside the house, and I was connected to the internal Wi-Fi. I've got one of them extenders in my man cave, and I realised that it was still connected to the one in the house. So I've just reconnected it to my external, and it's now full power. So we're all good. We're back. No more glitches. It's going to be great. Okay, so what I was saying was that, you know, Gail for me was a standout. Angelina Love was great. There was some for me again. Ups and downs.
Getting back.
This was not.
I felt so sorry for him.
Jay getting bagged by the beautiful people.
Oh man, yeah, right at the end. That was fantastic. Now, however, after the match, the ref lines up Team Over to raise their hands, and Mickie James is clearly seen glancing up at his knockout world title belt. Yeah. Trinity versus Mickie James, Bound for Glory is happening. Mark my words. Yeah. Looking forward to that. I think that's going to be amazing. I think you might find that gets announced tomorrow night on Impact Wrestling. Guys, before we go on, we need you guys to hit that subscribe button, share the show, hit the thumbs up. Let everybody know where we are. It helps us get the rankings. If you do now, get that thumbs up button now, at least, right? If you're not subscribed, subscribe. And get sharing now on all your socials. Let everybody know that the TNI family is going strong, and we're looking for new brothers and sisters to join the ranks of the TNI fam, right? Okay, so make sure you do that. Get that out there. It's really, really important. The more shares, the more thumbs up we get, the more it helps the show. Right. Now, digital media exclusive match this week, and there seems to be a bit of a theme, okay? Dirty Dango, Con and Dina versus Sami, Rich Swann, Jake something. I've not seen it. I'm assuming it's going to be a great match. I am. We then go to the BTI match, and we get Sami Callihan, Rich Swann versus Taurus and Laredo Kid. So we're getting a bit of a pattern there. We know Sami's on his way out, but they're giving him a few matches to, say goodbye. I think. Yeah. I think that's what it looks like. What do you think?
They're letting him leave strong, regardless. And when Sami was just left in the tag division, like I couldn't see him going anywhere else. You know, I'd love to have seen him and Rich Swann become tag team champions, but it just seems to be they're just stuck for ideas of where to push Sami Callihan unless they give him a sudden huge heel turn. But we know that's not going to happen now. So, but Sami and Swann are working brilliantly together, and this match is going to be really good. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
There is some good booking, that's for sure. I think there's some really, really good booking going on, and I think it's building up really, really well. And it's nice to Sami getting some extra love from Impact Wrestling. Like I said, I don't think he's done. He's making a big thing and all this kind of stuff, but I think it's all about Pro Wrestling Revolver, and maybe doing a few appearances here and there on AEW. Or whatever, I'm sure he will. I'm sure we get some kind of Switchblades reunion of some sort. So there's going to be all sorts of stuff going on. At the end of the day, if he ever wants that Switchblade reunion, it's only ever going to happen on Revolver or on AEW, because Moxie ain't coming to Impact Wrestling. So that's the only way it's going to happen. So. Yeah, Black Taurus agrees. He absolutely agrees. He's saying goodbye, Sammy. We love you. So it's all good. Then we've got obviously Impact Wrestling. Okay, we've got Impact Wrestling, and what we've got here is we've got Trinity versus Giselle Shaw, and this is where I think maybe Mickey James is going to get involved at some point in this, which should be interesting. We've got Rhino is making his return
and then
to
Mickey
action.
James will come out.
Oh, you reckon?
Yeah, there'll be something like that, and then Mickey James will come out, and boot them out, and then tell Trinity. Yeah, it's almost the reverse of what happened with Alex Shelley and Josh Alexander, but with Mickey James and Trinity.
Okay, I'm down with that. That sounds good. Rhino apparently returns into action, so I don't know. We don't know who he's going to face, but he's returning to action.
I feel sorry for him.
We're going to get the Yuya Uemura goodbye. Yeah, so do I. We've got the Yuya Uemura goodbye ceremony, which is interesting. They're doing that. They're making a big thing about him going, which is cool. Champion, no champion. Alan Angels is exercising his obviously Ultimate X win, so he's going to get his X Division title match versus Chris Sabin. That should be a really good match, and Chris Sabin needs to wear a cup, that's for sure. Mike Bailey will be facing Jonathan Gresham, and this is an interesting one. Tommy Dreamer and Heath versus Kenny King and Sheldon Jean. The least amount of Tommy Dreamer in the ring, the better. Hopefully, it'll be lots of Heath taking the workload, but you never know. Could be one of those matches that you don't expect to be good, but actually turns out to be really good. We'll have to see. There's a lot of people speculating as well. Actually, Mir's saying that now that it could be Heath's last match in Impact as well, because I believe his contract is up. However, he's been saying lots of really good stuff. He loves Impact. He loves Impact. He's going nowhere.
His booking's been really odd lately, though.
I don't think Heath's leaving.
No, but yeah, it's just
didn't he get like a little minor injury and then he was out for a little bit?
Don't know. But yeah, it's just sort of like he's just been popping up, sort of doing like sneak attacks on sort of people. It's like, well, where are we heading with Heath, kind of thing. And then you sort of think, well, are we waiting for Rhino to come back? And now Rhino's kind of doing something separate from Heath. It's like, where are we heading with Heath, kind of thing.
Yeah, I agree. Well, we'll have to see. Maybe he is moving on. I just can't see him fitting in anywhere else.
I've really enjoyed what we've seen from Heath. You just want to see it go somewhere.
Yeah, he's done a lot on the independent circuit. He's won quite a few belts on the indies. You know, so he's not. If anything, he'll be touring the indies a lot more, and then they're probably coming back to Impact Wrestling. But I think he'll be staying with Impact.
I hope so. I think it would be a shame to see Heath go.
Yeah.
There's definitely a lag going on, boys, isn't there?
No, it's all good.
I think there's always a lag going on.
Are you sure? Because you're taking forever to answer, and it's really weird because it's definitely not my end now because I got full Wi-Fi now. Okay, guys, we've had a really good night, but I think that's just about all we've got time for this week. But don't forget to tune into the TNI Impact Review Show tomorrow night, live on YouTube and Twitch, directly after Impact is aired on Access TV, Fight Network in Canada, Impact Plus, YouTube Insiders, of course. Please don't forget to head over to the TNI Patreon for exclusive extra content when you sign up, and of course join our Discord, where we pretty much talk about everything Impact or wrestling related, movies and other sports. All sorts of things get talked about over there. All TNI shows are available to all you listen on the Go fans via audio only on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you listen to your favorite shows. We are there. We're just available everywhere. We're like Impact. We're just available everywhere, basically.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
just got to look.
But there you go. Yeah, you just got to look for it.
Yeah.
Where can we find you on the socials, Stephen?
You can find me over on Twitter and the Discord at simplysteve311 for anything Impact Wrestling related. So yeah, just have a look on those two and you should find me.
Okay. What about yourself, Joe?
You can find me on Twitter at JOK_empty_space, or you can jump onto Facebook or Twitter, look for #empty_space, #into the void. Or if you fancy to take your taste buds and your sense of humor, look for #dailygiggle, where approachable enough you just might keep your sanity. One final note: this departure of Yuya Uemura, it reminds me so much of the Rascals when they left. When Trey
Yes.
went and Des went, I was so gutted by that. That's immediately what hit me as soon as I saw Yuya's case turn around. I was like,
Yeah,
oh
I think
no!
Yuya's doing an amazing.
And then the roster's outcry. It's like when the Rascals lost Ty Valkyrie, Gail Kim. Everyone was like, "I can't believe this is over for you guys. I'm so sorry." And Gail Kim was the first
Yeah.
one, the first to again.
It is sad. It is sad. It is sad.
It is.
No, exactly. Okay, if you're interested in finding out more about the Bison, you can find me on the on X, as we're calling it now, at Lord Bison 45. I pretty much talk about all my Impact or any wrestling related stuff on Twitter. I'm not so much hot on it on Facebook. I use that more for my sort of kind of family stuff, but I do mention a few things here and there. But like I said, if you go and follow me at Lord Bison 45 on Twitter, that's where I talk about everything. Please take the time to help us out moving up the rankings on YouTube by giving us a thumbs up. If you're new to us and you like what you see and what you hear, then please consider hitting that subscribe button, and don't forget to give the bell a tickle, a squeeze, or even a smash to never miss any of the great content coming out each and every week from TNI UK and US teams. Well, with all that said, guys, I have been your host, Bison. They have been the man simply known as Steve, and of course the man coming to you directly from the void of his own mind, the Joker. And this has been episode 152 of There, guys. Wow.
Take care, guys.
We're Bison! We are in battle!